In a sleepy southern town where the church bell tolls louder than gossip, a respected pastor held a secret that would shake his congregation to its very core. What began as whispers in the pews turned into front-page headlines when a woman's body was found just miles from the chapel, her lips sealed forever. The truth unraveled like a slow sermon, painful, shocking, and unforgettable. This is not just a story about sin. It's about betrayal, manipulation, and the deadly price of appearances. Welcome to a story you won't be able to forget. The pastor's secret lover and the small-town scandal that ended in murder. Nestled deep in rural Georgia sat Maple Hill, a town of fewer than 3,000 people. It was the kind of place where the church wasn't just a building, it was the heartbeat of the community. On Sundays, nearly every soul gathered at Grace Redeemer Baptist Church. At its helm stood Pastor Elijah Moore, a man described as charismatic, devout, and anointed. Elijah wasn't born in Maple Hill, but he had become its spiritual son. After graduating from a prominent Christian seminary, he moved to Maple Hill in 2011, accepted the pastoral role, and married the town's favorite teacher, Celeste Moore. Together, they looked like the picture-perfect couple. He preached about redemption, and she taught the children about grace. But small towns see everything. Eventually, there were murmurs. People noticed Elijah lingered too long with a certain woman after Bible study. They noticed the glances, the smiles, the subtle brushing of hands. That woman was Jasmine Rivers, a newcomer who moved to Maple Hill after fleeing a painful divorce. In Atlanta, she was 32, stunning, and, more dangerously, lonely. Jasmine had come to Maple Hill hoping for a fresh start. She opened a tiny wellness studio, yoga, crystals, some new-age stuff that didn't quite sit well with the older church folk. But she was warm, thoughtful, and always smiling. Elijah encouraged the congregation to love her as Jesus would. It started innocently enough. Elijah offered to pray with her after service. She confided in him about her ex-husband's abuse. He told her about the pressures of leading a flock. She laughed at his jokes. He told her no one had really seen him the way she did. Within months, they were meeting in secret. Church retreats became opportunities. Counseling sessions extended into late-night drives. But what they thought was hidden was only growing louder. In silence. One September morning, Celeste Moore found an envelope on her classroom desk. No stamp, no name, just her name written in block letters. Inside, a single line. Your husband is not who you think he is. Attached was a blurry photo. Elijah, Jasmine, kissing behind the old community center. Celeste didn't cry. She didn't scream. She waited. That Sunday, Elijah preached about the wages of sin. His voice trembled. His hands shook. Celeste sat in the front row, unreadable. She didn't confront him that night, but Jasmine did. Jasmine had grown tired of being the hidden one. She wanted more. She wanted Elijah to tell the truth, to his wife, to the church, to himself, that on the night of October 4th, neighbors reported hearing shouting from Jasmine's home. One voice was unmistakably male. Angry, desperate. The next morning, Jasmine didn't open her studio. She didn't answer her phone. Her best friend called the sheriff. By sundown, the entire town would know. Jasmine Rivers was dead. Her body was found in her kitchen. Blunt force trauma to the head. A wine bottle smashed. Blood pooled by the stove. No sign of forced entry. And then came the twist. First, Pastor Elijah appeared broken at the news of Jasmine's death. He said he had counseled her, that they were just friends. But police found security camera footage from a neighboring store. 10:43 p.m. A man matching Elijah's build entered Jasmine's home. 11:07 p.m. He left in a hurry. He was arrested the next morning, still in his clerical collar. The news hit Maple Hill like a bomb. Congregants wept. Some refused to believe it. Others said they'd always known something wasn't right. Celeste didn't speak to reporters. She stood outside the courthouse, stone-faced. The prosecution built its case quickly. Motive, jealousy. Evidence, the tape, blood on his jacket, and a journal entry from Jasmine that read, "He told me I was his salvation, but I think he only sees me as a sin." The courtroom was packed every day. Elijah's defense? That Jasmine had become obsessive, that she threatened to expose him, that she was emotionally unstable. They even claimed self-defense, that Jasmine had struck him first. But the jury wasn't convinced that it was the 911 call that sealed his fate. A neighbor, terrified, had called just as the argument turned violent. Screaming. A crash. A single phrase captured in the background. "You'll ruin everything. I can't let you do this." After 3 weeks of testimony, Elijah Moore was found guilty of second-degree murder. He was sentenced to 32 years in prison. A month after the verdict, Celeste Moore broke her silence. She published a letter in the Maple Hill Gazette. In it, she wrote, "He was a man of God, but not a godly man. I loved him. I trusted him. And yet, I saw what I wanted to see. I pray for Jasmine's family. I pray for Elijah. And I pray for a church that confused charisma with character." The letter went viral. National news picked it up. The church disbanded weeks later. Celeste moved to Savannah. She now teaches trauma recovery workshops for women. Maple Hill has not forgotten. The old church now sits empty, ivy creeping up the bricks. A memorial stone rests near Jasmine's studio, which never reopened. Some still visit Elijah in prison. Others refuse to speak his name. And in quiet corners of town, people still ask, what if Jasmine hadn't come? What if Celeste had confronted him sooner? What if the church had seen the signs? But true crime teaches us something deeper. Behind every scandal, there are real people, real pain, real consequences. The story of Pastor Elijah Moore and Jasmine Rivers is a haunting reminder of how secrets can fester in silence, and how the most trusted people can become the most dangerous. If you found this story gripping, disturbing, or thought-provoking, make sure you subscribe for more real-life cases that uncover the darkness behind closed doors. Until next time, stay curious, stay safe, and remember, sometimes evil wears a gentle smile.